So how's it going, guys? I'm here to talk about the new trailer for the Book of Boba Fett. And quite frankly, I don't really have a lot to say about this, to be quite frankly. Not a whole lot was shown. A lot of stylish shots. We're going to see Tamora Morrison, and he's going to be Boba Fett as we saw in The Mandalorian. I'm very happy. I very much enjoy him in this role, coming back as the Mandalorian, expanding on what we saw from Jango Fett in, Attack of the Clones. And of course, he revoiced the parts in the original trilogy. But this is going to be basically Boba the gangster. We're going to see him playing sort of like the replacement for Jabba. It's going to be about making money, but it's going to be in his style, and Fennec is along for the ride. And, it's going to be kind of interesting to see how she kind of fits into all this, because she's going to be a main character. When she was in The Mandalorian, she was a side character. She was barely there. She returned at the end of last season, and she's an okay character, I suppose. I don't really know how they're going to expand upon her. I'm kind of a bit surprised that she's along for the ride, basically, for this. I don't really know what to say about that. I'm not really against it or for it, but it's a bit surprising that they would keep her in this role the way that they have. And I guess that means they're putting a lot of stock in her, really. So, she had always been hanging out with Boba for a while in The Mandalorian, kind of off screen. But this is going to be pretty interesting to see how this goes about. We're going to probably see a lot of seedy characters in here, and I really hope so. Trailer was extremely vague. I would have liked better context. I mean, for it to set a goal instead of just kind of flashing images before me. I would kind of really like to know what we're getting ourselves into, and I get it. That's the surprise and everything. But the one thing that I do fear is a bit of like overload on like Mandalorian stuff, because there's a shit ton of Star Wars stuff that I have not even watched, and it's very overwhelming. It's a very saturated market, and it really has been like too much of a good thing, to be quite honest here. The Mandalorian is, without a doubt, in 2 seasons, one of my favorite shows of all time. It's a beautifully shot show, a beautifully done show, a beautifully acted show, a beautifully written show. I was very happy how everything went. Gideon is a great villain, a villain that I didn't even know that I wanted. And it's just a spectacular show. So we're going to have The Mandalorian running next year, season 3, and this is going ahead of it. And I gotta say, I'm not really too crazy about that. I mean, I would have taken season 3 before the Book of Boba Fett, to be quite honest. I don't know if anyone really feels that way, but I feel like it is going to start to get a bit samey. I get it. There's different plots and everything, but I would like them kind of to focus more on one show. And a quick look at Wikipedia will basically tell you that a lot of the same directors that wrote episodes for The Mandalorian are going to be writing for Boba Fett. And it's just a lot of those ideas that they had, and there were some really good ideas. I mean, you could even see from people like Bryce Dallas Howard, Dave Filoni, Jon Favreau, Robert Rodriguez, all these people who did episodes for The Mandalorian are now going to be writing for the Book of Boba Fett. And it kind of seems like this is going to be on a smaller scale. I don't know if we're going to be traveling around as much, but in a way, it would be kind of interesting if they could do this and, staying on Tatooine, where it does seem like it's taking place at Jabba's palace, and kind of maybe operating out of there. But that would kind of be sort of small, and since Boba Fett is taking care of Jabba's operations, he probably wants to set his sights pretty big. for big money or whatever else he really has planned. But I gotta tell you, I just feel like if they go adventuring in this one, it's really going to take away from the luster of The Mandalorian. That's what it is. I want The Mandalorian to feel special every single time a season comes out. I want it to feel unique and special. And now that we're going to have another Mandalorian show, you're going to have two guys basically wearing the same getup. And yes, one's Tamora Morrison, one's Pedro Pascal. I get it. But I'm just a concerned Star Wars fan because we're also going to have Ahsoka as well. Like, just so many spin-offs, so many animated shows. And yeah, Brad, you don't have to watch them all. I get it. But, you're kind of taking assets away from The Mandalorian, where The Mandalorian felt special. We had never gotten a live-action Star Wars show. It's something for years that George Lucas was trying to get off the ground. I've talked about this before in the past, but now you're going to have 3 of these live action shows, and then on top of that, we're going to be having other shows. We're going to have spin-offs of Rogue One even. So I'm just a little bit concerned that we're putting too many eggs in our live-action Star Wars basket and our streaming service. Like, yeah, this is giving Disney Plus a bang for its buck. But it also really at the same time, it's just sitting there as a Star Wars fan and just seeing it's getting a little bit annoying. It's taking something that George Lucas has, and this is someone now going back and sort of watching the prequels and, a little bit too much of a good thing, rushing those movies out and not really giving them the tender love and care. Looking back, I'll never forget my second viewing of The Rise of Skywalker, where I put a pretty positive review out here on YouTube. And I'm actually planning on putting together sort of a little retrospective of how I felt. I need to go and watch it the third time, but the as it stands as a trilogy, it's really not that good. And I'm gonna go back and talk about the sequel trilogy in due time. Like I said, I'll keep my word. I will do that video eventually. But yeah, I'm just kind of concerned here that, you guys like Mandalorians? Oh, you like Boba Fett's appearance? Well, it was nice to have an appearance, but do I want an entire show? Yeah, I'm all for having a Mandalorian show, but we already have one. I get it's different characters. I get it, they have 2 different goals now, I suppose, but I don't know what to say. I'm not trying to be negative here. I know a lot of people are going to say, oh, everyone says this because I'm trying to be fair here and look at things with a critical eye instead of just marking out and being a fanboy for everything. I've done that in the past, and sometimes I've paid for it later. I was being kind of a fanboy with Rise of Skywalker, no doubt about it. I still like The Last Jedi. I have watched that multiple times, and I think it is the best of the sequel trilogy. But, I've gotten burned before with the hype, without a doubt. But this is just, it seems a bit bloated, to say the least. And, when I'm looking at Tatooine and I'm seeing this, and, yes, I do like it that Boba's the big boss here, and we didn't have that side of Mando in The Mandalorian, because that's not really who he is. But it's just like it's going to start to feel a bit like familiar territory, and I just don't want it to feel like that. Maybe it won't be. Maybe they have grand things planned for this series that's going to take it in a whole different direction, and that's exactly what I want. But I'm just concerned, and I want them to prove me wrong, and I certainly hope that they do. By no means does this look bad or horrible. All I'm saying is that I just hope we get something wholly original that grabs me the way that The Mandalorian did. The majesty of that show, the glamorous magic that it felt, that Star Wars magic. And people are not, just riding a hype train. It's a really genuinely good show that really evokes the feelings of Star Wars in all the right places. So guys, let me know what you thought down in the comments. What did you think of the trailer? Like I said, I think it looks good. I get it. We don't want to spoil too much, but when you have a trailer, you kind of want to tell us a little bit more about what you got planned. Like, why am I watching this show instead of it's Boba Fett? Well, okay. Well, what's he going to do in the show? You know what I'm saying? So let me know, guys. And please subscribe if you haven't already. Click the bells to get all notifications when I post all my new videos. I want to thank all my patrons for your continued support. And thanks again, guys. I'll see you next time.